Trevor Kelley is jumping on the headset. Right-handed pitcher for the Pawtucket Red Sox, AAA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. Trevor, thank you for joining us here today. I know you're a busy man. Is this first pitch to Blandini is in there for strike one.
Yeah, not a problem. Off day, get to come visit Newport, Rhode Island. You can't really pass up on this offer.
Now this one pitch is going to be flown into right. Going back is Vosick, settling underneath it for out number one. Now, you're a Rhode Island native, so it has to feel good not only to be drafted by the Red Sox, obviously that's a huge honor, but then to work your way up through the ranks, and now you're just up the road at Pawtucket, pitching at such a high level, and obviously everyone around here loves you.
Yeah, so when I was drafted by the Red Sox, it was, I really couldn't, fathom, like, ever being, I'd always say, like, I'd give anything to be drafted by the Red Sox. And then when it happened, it was just a, unreal moment for me. Like, just lost it. Like, I cried. Being from, not thinking I was going to be drafted. I was drafted in the 36th round. So, it was just like a unreal moment where, me and my wife, got to share. And What was really crazy about that experience was 5 minutes before I got the call, my wife got up, put on a Red Sox shirt, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
It was in the stars.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you seriously gonna throw that shirt on right now?" And she's like, "Why not?" And then I get the Boston area code, and
of course
it was really yeah. I mean, it had to be.
Counting out a marquee 2-2, righty on righty matchup. This one.
There you go.
Now pitch in there. 2-2. Now to marquee, but of course you played at North Carolina in your collegiate career. In 2013, you guys made it to Omaha. I'm from Omaha, so I know all about the College World Series. Yeah. As Cherry looking on out of the windup, they're going to call time. I saw a lot of North Carolina teams make it to the College World Series. How special was that for you guys? Tell me a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, one of the greatest baseball experiences I've ever been a part of. Making it to Omaha is just hard. Like, just, every team has that goal. But to make it through a regional, a super regional, is one of the hardest things that just mentally as a team you go through, and if you make it through a regional, you almost deserve to go to Omaha, because you can't really play matchups. Everyone's got to be kind of on their A game.
This one's going to be bunted by Shamet, and Cherry's going to throw to first, but it's an overthrow. And so Shamet is safe at first, and moving up to third on the play is Markey. So runners on the corners with one away here in the first. And of course, along that way you were facing off against in-state rival North Carolina State, best pitcher in the nation at the time, Carlos Rodon, who's in the pros right now. Lost to him at first, and then you guys came back and beat him. Yeah,
he was unbelievable. Carlos was, had our number all year. And then when we got matched up with him, and the first game of Omaha, we were like, oh my gosh, this isn't happening. But, we were up for the challenge, and unfortunately we came up short that first game. But then we got hungry, and, we came back, and, we knew that we had a shot to face them again. And then, we had Hobbs Johnson on the mound throw, I think, all but one.
Schmidt takes off for second, throw down.
All but one fastball.
Time. All but one fastball.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. They couldn't hit the fastball. That's all I'll say about NC State.
A little bit of in-state rivalry there. So you guys ended up beating NC State and had a trip to Omaha. And you said, I know you guys played LSU, and that's one of the fan favorites every single time down there.
Yeah, that was actually a unreal game, because when you get to Omaha, you really don't. You hear all the stories, and you don't really know what to expect. You want to kind of soak it all in. But then when you're playing LSU, they travel really well. And, I mean, that place was all purple and gold, and you just – we had our little family section, and that's pretty much it.
It's gone, yeah. I tell you
but
what,
it was all LSU fans.
Being from Omaha, I know they travel well, and then because of that, everyone from Omaha picks LSU and chooses to root for them. They're one of the more fun teams to watch.
Yeah.
Now, I know talking to you before the game, you have a little bit of an unorthodox delivery, but you developed that after your freshman year in college.
Yeah. So I got to North Carolina, and I was thrown over the top, threw hard. Obviously, you throw more in college than you do in high school. So my velo kind of crept back down, low 90s. I was like kind of low to mid 90s.
Now this one's going to be lined back up the middle. Bellini with it off one hop, throws to first in time for out number 3.
So I was a little wild over the top. Things didn't click as well as I would have liked right off the bat, and it was close to end of the ACC play, and I had still not gotten in. Like, I've yet to pitch in a college game yet, and I'm just doing everything I'm told, and I was just getting really discouraged, and I was like, you know what, I got to make a change or they're going to cut me, and that's what I did. So one of the series that, the guys were on the road, I went back home and pitched to my high school team, and for some reason last 4 pitches I threw sidearm. I was like, why not? And for some reason my pitching coach had the radar gun out. It read 88. I was like, that's good enough for me. I'll just go back to school and show them that. A week later, I'm in my first game, and I'm bumping 94 from there. And I'm like, where has this been? I've yet to see it come back, but I think it was just the whole build-up and how bad I wanted to be out there.
Right.
It got me those readings, but right now I feel like I'm in a good spot. And it all came from just college, really working with it and really learning on my own.
So then after you developed that sidearm delivery, you ended up in 2013, like I said, you went to College World Series, and you ended up in the Cape for a summer down in Orleans, right?
Yep.
How was that experience? I know you had a summer in the Cal Ripken League, and then, of course, in the Cape Cod League.
The Cal Ripken League did a lot for me, just because it was my first year really throwing sidearm. So my pitching coach there really had a pretty big impact on where I am now, just because I really haven't changed much since then, because I had a really good summer and just rode with it, and I got to work out with Darren O'Day, Baltimore Oriole guy, and he showed me he got me on the right path. So
another sidearm thrower.
Yeah. So he kind of showed me really gave me a few tips here and there, and a few workouts to really focus on and what I need to be thinking mindset wise. So that's where it kind of all started. But then playing up in the Cape, there's not really any other experience that you can put up there for a summer by playing in the Cape. It was a lot of fun. I had a great host family that really made my experience that much better. Anyone that is hosting a summer ball player is just that's what really makes the summer experience that much better.
Are you still in contact with them?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've had 3-4 host families throughout my baseball career, and all of them, every holiday, text them or call them. We still stay in touch.
That's special.
So yeah, it is. The Cape was a lot of fun.
Well, now you're with the Paw Sox. Obviously, the sidearm delivery has worked out for you. You're with the AAA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox, and this season you have a 1.10 ERA with 28 strikeouts through 32 and 2/3 innings pitched. You've only given up 26 hits and 2 home runs with a juiced ball at that level. So everything seems to be clicking right now.
Yeah, I think our bullpen and our starters complement me in a way that sets me up pretty well, and hopefully I do the same for them. But Yeah, the baseballs are, another topic, but man,
That has to be frustrating as a pitcher, right?
yeah, I just try and not miss middle of the plate because you guys, if you get any hitter, really, it's like even the 9-hole hitter, you get their hands extended, the ball is going. But that's what makes me pretty valuable is that I got that east-west movement, and I honestly can bring a little bit more than that by adding a little north-south into it. It's just a different look. So right now I feel like I'm in a great spot mentally and physically to get outs. And that's what I've been doing, just attacking the zone, throwing strikes, and, working in, ending out, just starting on the plate, ending off. And, you can't really do much more than that, and just hopefully they don't hit it over the fence with those new balls.
Yeah, well, it's been working with you so far. As this pitch is going to be flown into left from Gustin, but coming in is Shemet for out number 1 as Holzwasser tracks back to first. So 1 away here in the bottom of the first for the goal. Still tied at 0 here in Newport as Hudson Haskin of Tulane settles in.
Trevor, again, going back on your summer ball experience, what would be your advice to these players? Again, drafted in the 36th round. Everyone on these two teams here today between Bay Sox and also the Gulls, they were probably watching the draft very closely a few weeks ago. What would be your advice to them? This is why they're here this summer, to work on their craft and to get better and improve every single day. What would be your advice to give them this summer?
Probably just have as much fun as you can because, when you're having fun, everything's going well. You're playing. Obviously, if you're not having fun, you're not playing well. And if you're having fun, you're playing well. That's part of it. Everyone gets that. But, once you are drafted, it loses a sense of, it is a job at the end of the day. And, you're always on edge because you really don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Whether I've had friends get released when they're doing really well, and that's one thing that I've seen. Like just it's heartbreaking. So it's part of the business that you really don't know what tomorrow brings. So have fun today, and that's kind of what I would say.
I like that. And this game is revolving just, up through all the ranks here. This is the first year where they're testing out a new extra innings rule where, starting in the top of the 10th inning, the runner on second base. What, mentality are you in as a pitcher? If you're entering a game, it's an extra innings and there's already a runner on second base. Yeah. What's going through your mind on the mound?
You understand as a pitcher that run on second is unearned. So when I get up there, don't be afraid to walk a guy. Don't be afraid to give up a hit, because as soon as you try and pitch around someone or try to pitch to not give up a hit, is when that run scores most of the time. I've been on that end of things, but I feel like I'm at my best when I got the bases loaded, and if they're not my runs, then I'm more of an attack, let them hit it, let's see what they have, than they are my runs. So I don't know, when extra innings, it's don't try and do too much.
This one's gonna be
you just got to be more aggressive.
Grounded right back to the pitcher off of Washburn. He tried to field it but couldn't cleanly, so Haskins aboard first with a infield single as Holzwasser is now in scoring position for the Gulls.
How scary is that for a pitcher to get really a comebacker right to you on the mound?
I don't like that at all. I've had in Lowell it was short season. So right after I got drafted, I had last game of the year, first pitch of the last inning.
You almost got out of there clean.
Oh my God, yeah, I almost did. And first pitch, took one off the earlobe. It whizzed past my ear, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Long
Next kid threw down a bunt, and I was already on second base. I was backpedaling. And long story short, gave up a grand slam.
At that point, you were done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you were checked out.
Other than that, my short season numbers are kind of influx. Obviously, like, not as many games there, but that one really hurt me because I was like, man, my like career stats would have been
Right.
pretty, like, really impressive if it wasn't for that last game.
Well, I got to ask. I have a couple friends that there are broadcasters or are in independent leagues or in minor leagues low level, and they tell me stories about some minor league or independent leagues, bus rides or this or that. Do you have any stories you could tell? Because I've heard bus drivers driving the wrong way for 2 hours and then having to go back, or buses breaking down and having to drive or walk miles to the nearest town to work it out. Do you have any stories that you could share with us here on the broadcast?
I mean, there's too many really to pick from one. You know, minor league in itself is just one of the best stories ever. But, you know, that what you just said is, you know, pretty much like all of them.
It's the epitome of it all, yeah.
You know, especially in A-ball. A-ball is really when you're grinding every day. You know, you get one bus and you're doubling up and you're having to carry a lot of stuff. You're having to, like, every level there's PB&J, but like A-ball is just like stale bread and just. There you go.
This one's going to be pulled into right from Vosick, and they're going to hold up Holzwasser at third. So bases loaded now for the goals in the bottom of the first with only one away.
Yeah, it's definitely not. You can't really prepare for it because you're like, really? This is. Like,
you go from North Carolina trips to Omaha and then PB&J with stale bread every day.
That's honestly what the hardest thing was. Like, I go from North Carolina to rookie ball, and there's 0 fans, chain link fence, and like 1 umpire. Like, I was just like, what am I doing? Is this worth it? And then I go, like, I finished that year, and then I come back to my first spring training. And then I don't break camp. I'm in an extended spring training, and I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, is it really worth it? Do I really want to pursue baseball?
And extended spring training is something else because the pay isn't great, if any.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can't be in it for the money because you know you can't really, like, the money's not great. I will say that it's not.
I mean, it's a serious
you're in it
grind
for the end
through
goal.
The minors, yeah.
Yeah, it's a grind. They call it a grind for a reason, and you know you're in it for the end goal, the dream that you've always had as a little kid, and that's it.
But at the end of the day, it's worked out for you.
I'm trying. You know, I feel like I'm pretty close, and I'm in a good spot mentally and physically, and that's all you can really ask for at this level, and. You know, the numbers are there, and you know, hopefully I keep it going. That's all I can do. Stay patient.
Now this
there it is.
To Bellini is going to be flown into center. Schmidt going back, it's looking up. It's going to be off the fence. Coming in to score is Holzwasser. Rounding third is Haskin. Now that Winter Road puts up the brakes, and so 1 run will score for Newport, and the bases are loaded once again for the goals as they lead 1-0. The big left-hander, Ryan Tours, is settling in at the dish.
Trevor, you're talking about when you were playing in extended spring training, you were going through, you know, do you still want to do this? Mm-hmm. Now you're at AAA level on the brink of, you know, going to the majors. What clicked? What clicked to really set your mind that, okay, I really want to pursue this dream and I'm sticking with baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I had it all along. Like, my whole, like, going back to my college story, it was like I always had to prove someone wrong. And that's what I did. I just, you know, my first spring training, I followed the book that they gave me. You know, the throwing program was, you know, if you do follow a program, everyone's different. No book can tell you what to do. So I really came in. I didn't throw a bullpen until first day I reported. So I was really behind. My velo is down. And, you know, I thought mechanically I wasn't there, so I was like, oh boy, I wasn't doing well, like in the, you know, the scrimmages or the games or whatever, and you know, I didn't make a team, so I was like, all right, I gotta get lower, and I got lower, and that worked out for a few weeks, and then I kind of kept creeping up in my arm slot, and my velo started rising and rising and rising, and then I was like, all right, I'm back. I'm finally there. And finally, when short season broke, I went to Lowell for a day for a practice, and then they sent me to Greenville. Had a great year in Greenville, and then by the end of the season in Greenville, I was up in Salem for, I don't know, like a week. And so, I climbed up there. I was off to a slow start, but, I had a really good year then. So, and ever since I've had that, all right, halfway through the year, I make a promotion. So hopefully this year, we're
there.
Halfway.
We're getting there.
AllStar Break.
Yep.
You never know. Wishful thinking.
Yep.
Who's one MLB player you want to challenge yourself and face in the face?
Probably the whole Yankees lineup.
Okay.
I like that mentality.
They got some big swings, and I like those guys.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I don't throw that hard, but for a sidearm guy, I feel like I am a power sidearm guy, if you have to call it that. But I do have a lot of run on my ball, and I can make it do a few different things. So in AAA, I've had pretty good success to big swing guys, and obviously everyone gives up a few good hits, and for the most part, I feel like I'm pretty consistent enough to get outs there, especially against that lineup.
I like that coming from a Red Sox guy, too.
Oh, yeah.
You have to have that mentality, right?
Are you kidding me? It's
in your DNA at this point.
As soon as I get up there, I hate everyone. Part of the minor leagues is all right, I got to go through it.
Right.
But, at the big league level, not that you're not trying to play to win every single game, but it's more, kind of into
you have to be a little bit selfish.
You got to
at
be
that
a little.
level.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. You got to be a little selfish in the minor leagues, but then in the big leagues, finally you get back to that win every single game.
Right.
Especially in college, where I love coming in every single game. My senior year, I did it. I feel like I was in every single game. I love that feeling.
Do you miss that mentality a little bit? Because I know a lot of guys in the pros, listening to some of their interviews, they talk about how they miss those days in college playing for your teammates.
Yeah, definitely. And then once you get up, if I get up to Boston, I'm just going to be so excited. I'm going to want to win every single game. I want to be in every single inning. And, I feel like you won't get that much out of, obviously you'll get it out of a lot of guys, but growing up a Red Sox fan, diehard Red Sox fan, it means a little bit more to me, I feel like.
This one's going to be grounded to first. Throw to the plate is in time for a one out. Back throw to first. It's going to be off the glove of the first baseman Henry and into right field. So coming around to score for the goals is Vosick. So there's two away now and two runners in scoring position. Moving over to second on the play was Tours on the throwing error, and over to third was Bellini. So the goal's now up 2-0 with two away and two runners in scoring position.
How close are you with some of the Red Sox at the major leagues? Because I know we've seen a lot of, AAA guys move up, recently. How close are you with some of those guys?
I'm really close with, let's see, Josh Taylor's up there right now. Travis Lakins is up there. Michael Chavis I'm really close with. We've been locker buddies for forever.
And what a year he's having.
Yeah, he's I knew he had it in him, but not like this.
Yeah.
They call him the ice horse.
The home runs that he's hitting right now are, I'm not sure if I ever saw him in BP. The way that they're going over the monster is just really impressive. And, I'm just really excited for him. My wife and his girlfriend get along really well, so we got really close there, and couldn't be happier for him. But going through spring training with the big league club, backing up all those games, I got to know quite a few of them, and you know, just seeing them on TV every day, it's just kind of like it's a different feeling, but they're all great guys, really good guys.
And everyone around the major says you guys have the smartest manager in baseball at the moment.
Yeah, Corey, he's I mean, everything that he did last year, it was like you can't really, like, he made moves that had to work, and he hit on every single move that he made. So right now, like, the guys are just started off a little slow, which obviously no Red Sox fan wants to see, but, you know, if I do know one thing, it's just they're going to keep battling, and, you know, they're creeping up now, so before you blink, they're going to be 3 games back.
I mean, they're as dangerous as anybody, so I want to put it past them. I think my favorite Cora story comes when he was a player. You know, they didn't want to re-sign Pedroia, and it was because he didn't steal enough bases. And so Cora could sense that they were locker mates, and he could sense something was wrong, and Pedroia said, well, they're not going to re-sign me because I don't steal enough bases. He said, look to me in the dugout, and when I say go, you go. And he sent him 15 times, said go 15 times throughout the year. Pedroia got his 15 bags, wasn't caught once.
Yeah.
That just goes to show the intricacies that he looks for, the details he looks for, and how smart of a guy he is.
Yeah, from all the stories that I hear, just Corey he's a mastermind of just a lot of little things that go on in baseball, from like just picking up signs, picking up, you know, pitchers tipping pitches, and, you know, just the little things that can win you ball games in the long run. You know, those are the things that Cora really does well, from what I hear, and, you know, I can only wait to, you know, feel that experience with him.
Well, it's only a matter of time. We kept you here for a whole inning. I know you got a busy schedule, game tomorrow against Durham up the road in Pawtucket, so we're going to let you get out of here. Thank you for stopping by, though.
Yeah,
Trevor Kelley,
thanks for having me.
Right-handed pitcher for the Paw Sox, soon to be for the Boston Red Sox, though, I'm sure, with the year you're having. So thank you, though, for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.